In this video, I'm going to show the process of working with some of the features and tools available to you within OrbitNote. So I'm going to start with probably a fairly simple type of PDF that doesn't involve any graphics. It does have some customized kind of fonts, something that you might find, downloaded online or from Teachers Pay Teachers. Going to click on this, and what it does is it gives me the preview option. So this is a Google Drive feature that allows you to kind of take a quick look at the PDF, make sure it's the one that you want or need before downloading it or printing it, that kind of thing. In this case, we're going to make sure that it's the right one before we use the Open With drop-down menu here at the top. You'll notice that I have quite a few of them in here as we test different things for different devices and that kind of thing. I'm going to go down, however, though, and select OrbitNote. This is the same process that we used to use if you were selecting Text Help's PDF reader. So I go and I click OrbitNote. That will open this PDF in a new tab, loading in the OrbitNote toolbar. And you'll see that come up here in just a second. So again, this part here looks to be pretty consistent, and there's nothing here that's really changed. Now, I wanted to point this one out because this is a file that I actually pulled using some screenshot software and things from a Teachers Pay Teachers resource that had lots of extra borders and graphics and things like that. And the first thing you'll notice here at the top is that this is going to be pretty difficult to do because it actually can't find any text in this document. And I know why that is, and that's because I used a screenshot tool to grab text from a bunch of different areas within one document. The issue with that is that for OCR technology, which is Optical Character Recognition, like OrbitNote, it relies on having the text remain in text format to be able to accurately read that with text-to-speech. Right now, it's looking at a document that it thinks has just two images, likely one for the title up at the top and one for that, 4 little paragraphs of text. So I have a couple of options here. If a student is really stuck and you have only only this image sort of option, what we can do is we can use this on the toolbar, this one here, which is Screenshot Reader. And what that allows us to do is to draw a box or make a box around image elements. And what the software is going to do, you'll notice it's scanning with the multicolor thing at the bottom. And that was really quick, much faster than it was in the old PDF reader. This is a much faster engine, which is awesome. What it did there was it looked for within the image to see if it could recognize common letter formations, and it did. It found 4 words and a question mark here. And I then, once it's done that once, I get the option to get it to read it to me again.
How do rugs form?
If it's a longer section of text, so I'll do that here in the one just below, and I'll show you that, again, using the screenshot reader. I go down here and I simply left click, hold in the left click, and then drag with my, in this case, a trackpad, a touchpad, or with your mouse, and get all of the text inside that box, and then I release my left click. It will then show me that it's attempting to recognize the text down below. This should take a little longer because it has much more text to work with, and then hopefully it will come up with that text-to-speech engine and begin to read the material for me. Again, this isn't sort of an ideal circumstance for students, but it is, you're really stuck, you didn't have time to convert it, whatever the case may be. And you can see there it's reading through the text. Again, I have the option to pause that content, and it will keep the words selected that it's either just read or is about to read. I can play from that point and pause. The other one here is simply a stop button, so I can stop the reading, and if I click the button here again, it would begin to read from the beginning. The other option here is one that you've seen in other software, and it's the icon that simply designates that it's going to make a copy or to copy that. So this is a really cool feature. What it's done there is it's taken an image and it found text within that image. And then if I went out to, say, a Google Doc or something like that, I could paste that text from an image that wasn't, text recognized before, and I can simply go and I can use, in this case, I'll just use my right-click option here, and I'll go down here and do paste. And what it's going to attempt to do is to take that text that it just found inside an image, which is really cool, and convert it to something that can be changed or edited here within Google Docs. So that's the sort of the first type of file you may encounter, is one that is not yet recognized as text. It's the most difficult one for students and educators to deal with, but it is one that is super useful in a pinch. I will in another video outline how to use this snapverter option up there at the top. So you'll notice that back here it gave us that option of converting this doc using snapverter, and that's a process for another video because it's a little more in depth. You'll notice here again in the finished document there are a few little errors. Intrusive it has here. It's thinking it's intrusive. Let's go back to the original doc and actually see what that says. It's extrusive. So you may have to go through with a student, or if you're doing this on your own, to be able to create documents that are readable with OrbitNote or another text-to-speech OCR software platform. You may want to go in and just double check quickly on the actual translation of that image from an image to the text form. Anyway, I will go through a couple of other different options and things to look out for with different types of PDF because PDFs are not all created equally.